Hey Charles, I don't know when it's popping on, but so I might as well just do it now rather than having to worry about typing. Please, for the love of God, Charles, let me know if you can hear the music. If you can, I'll turn it off, and or if anything's not working properly. Sorry about if I'm sniffling or whatever. This is more or less what would you call it? An impromptu live stream. I was just trying to figure out a way of chit chatting with Hex to Hex. And so I sent out an invite, but I was like, and hopefully it's not inappropriate to do it this way, but I was like, well, if we're going to just chit chat or whatever, just have, chat about things gaming wise or whatever. I was like, well, maybe other people would be interested in whatever. Just pop on. So that's it. And yeah, I have no idea how long I'm going to be on, Charles, or whatever, but like I'm still, I actually sent the email or the invite over to when I was sending it over to Hex. I basically said I still have to basically pace myself energy wise and whatnot. And actually, Rob phoned me earlier on today, 20 minutes after the live stream this morning, and was like, "Hey, do you want to do something tomorrow?" So I've also got to focus on that. So maybe I'll only be on for like an hour or something like that. But what are you up to, man? Did you find your missing figures? Let me know, man. Yeah, so that's all I'm really doing right now. Nothing amazing's going on. Except I'm opening about the, I don't know how many freaking rolls of freaking tape I've been opening this thing here. I'm going to open up the safety thing. Yeah, I'm just sending off a box to Dad versus Son, believe it or not. So finally getting my arse into gear and sending that off. Okay, so you did find the figures. Did they take them? And please, like I said, let me know if you can hear the music. I don't want to drive you up the tree. Oh, interesting. Yeah, those are sweet looking ships, Charles. Like the base and all that. And the other thing I liked about them, just very quickly from what I was seeing, was very yellow. Like I could see that yellow pop. So it looked like they were using some really nice, vibrant paints, which I'm more than fine with based on what's going on. No buried in the dog's blankets. Okay. Uh, Man, Charles, I don't know what to say about this game. That's sitting on that table right here. Bloody F. What's the ship name? So is that with that yellow stuff? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, maybe I should stop buying dollar store packing tape as well because this stuff is just Jesus Murphy, brutal. All right, let's turn on some good lights. Yeah, I hope Hex pops on. I should have given him more notice, but to be honest with you, I wasn't sure if I was going to be on or not, so I didn't want to commit. And like I said, I didn't feel like it was a what would you call it? Like like a firm commitment type of a thing or whatever. So it's no big whoop. Just trying to get that across anyway. Sorry if that's the whatever's loud. I'll stop doing it. Actually, I'll do something else. Focus on it's interesting to do. Okay, yeah, I'll go get some. I'll go get some scissors. Man, did ship name, rate number, guns of country, going to add. Oh, cool, man. Hey, Charles, do you have, is it called Sovereign of the Seas? It's also by Compass. Oh, okay, get you. Yep. Hey, Hex to Hex, there he is, the beautiful man. Let's see if I can do this. Oh, yeah, okay, I just have to add you. Excellent. And now I'm going to get rid of, now, okay, Hex to Hex, you got to show me how to do things. Are you in now?
I am in. Can you hear me?
Yes. Now, how do I make your table as big as mine or share it?
There you go.
Okay, goody. So now I can get rid of my...
You got a bunch of buttons down there where you can play around.
Okay, so now, okay, what I want to do is get rid of me, but put just my table, which is a shared screen. So I can remove me, but then that would screw with my microphone, correct?
Well, okay, so are you using a secondary like...
No, I'm cheating. So what I'm doing with StreamYard is I'm using the camera app from Windows.
All right.
And I'm sharing that window.
Okay, I'm not sure how that works. I use Loggy Capture, so I can...
Okay, so let's see.
Got to be a way for you to switch it, though.
I'll fiddle a little bit. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. See, that's what I want, that other thing, but not me. I don't want that. I want you to be, if it, you know what I mean? Like, oh, for Christ's sakes. Okay, we're just going to stick to that then for now. Yeah, we're just
I'd like to see your table, though.
Pardon?
I'd like to see your table.
Okay, then what I'll do is, actually, I think I may be able to switch camera. Let's see if it'll let me do that.
All right.
And it should still keep my, I'll just have to get rid of the, hold on here. I'm going to get rid of that so we're not sharing the camera, the thingamajig. Then I'll switch to that one. There. Is that all right?
Now make yours bigger so we can see more of that fine map there.
Yeah, but why? What about you then?
That's all right. I'm just painting little tiny things anyhow. They would be able to see it in the first place.
That? That didn't work either.
There you go. Now you're talking.
Okay, that's much better. Excellent. Yeah, it was weird, man. Actually, when I saw your, I didn't watch it, but I watched your, saw the video there about you doing miniatures. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And it looked wicked. The picture that you took, I was like, holy shit. The thing is, I have no experience with speed paints.
Right.
I only have like 99% of my experience painting is with deco art paint. And the reason being was when I started painting way back when, that was the only access I really had was the dollar stores around here. And I just got used to it. And then when I went actually to a proper hobby store or whatever, and I was like, what the hell? Are you kidding me? I'm not paying that money. But when I saw the quality difference and all the issues I've had to deal with over the years, which are enormous because it's not made for miniatures, for God's sakes. Like, you know, all those impurities, like the chunkiness, you don't see when you're painting like a, you know, a big craft thing or whatever. But 15 millimeter figure, you're going to start noticing. At least I have.
Well, you know, I mean, these things, I wouldn't go with contrast or speed paints. Not when you're going to use them solely on the whole figure. I wouldn't go above 54 millimeter with these. And anything with a big smooth surface, like I've got a little mushroom guy painted here with speed paints, and you can't get rid of the streaking because it's too many big smooth areas.
And it's so weird, as you probably, well, I'm sure you know now it's not so weird, but it really is such a personal thing about painting style. But I mean, it really is. Like there's some, I'm like, there's nothing wrong. Like, for example, like certain styles of painting that I've seen, I'm not going to even mention them because it's, you know, it's being me judgmental. And that's exactly it. It's just a personal preference. I'm like, that is god awful. In my mind, but tons of people go, that is awesome, like an awesome paint job. And in my mind, I'm like, that has got to be the most ridiculous looking paint job I've ever seen in my life. So, you know, but it's like, well, to each his own, dude. You know, and I'm sure other people around like jumping up and down going, wow, look at that. I've done such a great, and they're like, God almighty.
Well, the rule about when you're painting 15s to 28s is what do they look like 3 foot away from you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know who. Yeah, you're right. And I have no idea who the hell brought that to my attention at one point. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, man. It's been a long process. That's where I come from is miniatures. So it's I'm going the other way kind of thing. And yeah, to post like on other forums and whatever, when you'd see like beautiful quality paint jobs, and I was like, I don't know if I want it. But then I'd see other people, and God bless this person. You should see how many flipping armies this guy's done. A gazillion. And I'm sure most people would go, that looks like shit. And I'm like, good on him, man, because he's happy with what he's done. He's posting what he's doing. And you know what? He gives me the kick in the pants to go, you know what? If this guy can just be naked in front of everybody and not worry about it, damn right I can do that too. And who the hell cares? It's a goddamn piece of metal or plastic. Yep. It's, you know what I mean? This is not like I've just fucked up the cure for cancer or something. It's not nothing like that. So, well, it's good to see you. I guess that was the only thing I was worried about for the 9 o'clock live streams is screwing with other people's stuff. I'm always so not into that, man.
Well, what time is? Oh, you know what? We're just chit chatting. I mean, what?
Oh yeah, well, I know, but is for example, if there's somebody let's say if not Jay was doing something right now, we wouldn't be doing that, doing this right now. That's why I'm always check in or whatever. Exactly. That's all I wanted to do is just chat with you and open it up that way and not make it so flippant formal and all that stuff. Charles, talking about you. Well, we think about you, Charles. I'll put it that much.
Well, you didn't answer my email when I said 9 o'clock, and I was like, well, maybe he can't do that.
No, I was kind of I'm going to. I wasn't sure, but I was I'm not going to commit.
Sure.
Because I was yet again, like I was saying, I'm trying to still pace myself. But I was okay, just limit it to an hour, and you should be fine, kind of thing. And then I can tone down and go from there. And also, it was good for me to. I'm man, I've not focused on this table in quite some time. Yeah, Charles, man, I've got Sovereign of the Seas upstairs. I ended up biting on that. I'm not sure if it was because of Len there from Centurion's Review, but he had it, and I'm not sure if he said he's wanted to always get around to playing it or whatever, but I was it was one of those games. I was yeah, that looks like a scale for naval combat or whatever, back in those days that I could handle. Not so ship to ship oriented stuff. But oh my God, I'll tell you on a side note, talk about naive I am. I don't know. Well, you've been around things that have exploded. I haven't. I watched, based on a recommendation yesterday on YouTube, there was, I guess, film footage from the Bismarck of the destruction of the Hood.
Oh, wow.
And I'm so naive. I didn't know what the hell I was watching. So I was are those flashes coming from the Hood or from the Bismarck? What is this smoke? I had no clue. Right. I got to keep watching. But I was thinking afterwards, I'm somebody who for example, McMurray or whatever. I'm sure they'd be oh, that's from that's the Hood getting nailed or whatever. I was it was just so weird to watch because I was I don't know what the hell I'm watching. It was, you know what I mean?
Him or Nachi would be good ones to answer that. Now, I'll tell you what, I will say this. I do like all these little quick hitters you're doing during the daytime and stuff.
Those which ones?
Your little quick hitting live streams you're doing. Those are coming off really, really well.
You mean about the tabletop?
You had one this morning. These little live streams you're doing.
Oh! I see what you mean. Oh, thanks, man.
Those are really, really nice.
Okay. I'm still trying to truck along here. Thanks. That's all I gotta say. It's been it's up and down and all around, but hopefully it's going to slowly keep going up, kind of thing. If that makes any sense. And what drives me up the tree is so many times afterwards, I'm like, oh my God, there's tons of stuff I wanted to chit chat about, or I forgot about talking about, or, but I'm like, well, I'm trying to, shoot like a scatter gun or whatever. It's just like, whatever. But, like I was saying to Harold Bosma today, it's like, we'll just keep going around and around and around. It doesn't mean we're going to stop, kind of thing. So,
usually when I stream, like if me and Todd and McMurray are going to do something, it's for what it is we're going to do. We usually, so Chris has the weekly chat sort of thing anymore, which is good. I'm glad they've settled in on something. But Todd and Andrew and I, usually when we're going to pop a live stream, it's going to have a particular pre-planned topic, and we like to get it posted ahead of time so that people get a chance to, hey, they're going to be on talking about this or that or whatever. And it works good. It works really, really good. These are great.
These impromptu things?
Yeah. Friday, Saturday night, even Sunday evening. Me and Todd used to do a lot of those on Sunday evening. Just sitting around here. I'm like right now. I got the Capitals up on.
Meandering Mike a few weeks ago was saying that he finds these types of impromptu, or anybody popping these on, motivational, like to sit down and start painting or whatever. Yeah. I'll tell you, man.
I'm watching hockey, and my Capitals are winning 3-1. So hey.
Oh wow. Did you guys win the cup?
2000.
Okay, so you did. So no, it doesn't mean anything as long as you've won it once.
Yep.
There's, as you know, there's. Let's be honest. I think we've mentioned this before. The NHL playoffs, without a doubt, is can be, if every series goes to 7, is the hardest freaking trophy to win.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Like, come on. It's basically a second season, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Not to mention
the Boston Bruins proved that last year, set the best regular season record ever in hockey, and got knocked out early.
It's hard to explain to people that have not into or whatever. But also, besides football or like Australian rules, whatever. Name me one sport where you can still beat the shit out of somebody, honestly, and not get arrested.
Right. Well, I think hockey players are the most physically fit athletes of all sports, in my opinion.
It is completely different. Completely different sport than when I watched when I was a kid, where for example, they smoked between periods.
Yeah.
That was a normal thing. And you also used to watch, their shifts were 2 minutes long or longer. Now, as you know, it's a 30-second sprint. You get on, you get off. Yep. It's just this crazy, it's a completely other universe of...
it's a speed game nowadays.
It's just unbelievable. Well, it's shocking. And I will say this, though. I'm very glad they got away from the most insanely huge size of goalie pads and equipment and everything.
Well, the stinking goalies are 6'5" and 6'6", weighing 230 pounds now.
It's like, okay, we're getting down to pixels.
Yeah.
Like to try to get in. Hey, Eric, alrighty, man. Nice to see you. Yeah, it's just an impromptu quickie, whatever. Just going to hang out till around 10 or so.
I'm painting with Vallejo tonight, so I'm not using my speed paints.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some contrast. A little bit of contrast paint here and there, but all Vallejo tonight. So
okay,
just painting four Russians.
I think I have. Yeah, I've got a couple of the. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think it's the Vallejo that does the Game Color series.
Yeah, I'm using.
Yeah, that they're kind of like a fantasy, like very high contrast look. I was really I picked those up and at the store and hobby store, and I was like, it was too much of a learning curve. Or a difference between what I'm used. Oh, yes, I've seen those guys at the hobby store. Yeah.
I have all of them. I ordered them through Amazon last year. So.
Oh my God, I did order them. I'm hoping. I think they're no longer around. I was like, you gotta be effing kidding me. Who is it? Airfix does dioramas 1 to 72 scale, I think. And they did the Psalm. I'm like, what the hell? I can't find it anywhere. But like at my hobby store, they've got like D-Day. I'm like, oh, fuck off with D-Day, man. I'm sorry, but like that's like sci-fi for me, which is ironic. Eric Battleready was mentioning sci-fi this morning with World War I and whatnot. Yeah.
All right, so give me the. So you were the last. I got a couple of videos of yours I got to catch up on. But what was you were talking about deciding your German turn or something? So are you in a dilemma?
Well, I finished up. Like I figured out where I think I'm going to try to make some combats. What I'm at the point now is I'm still trying to learn how to get things in place. Not for next turn, but like 2 turns from now, if that makes any sense.
Right. I got
my first name's Chris. Eric Battleready. A long story about the Nanguea thing, but so yeah, I'm trying to figure that out in my mind, anyways. Of like, okay, it's you know what I mean, to become less reactionary, if that makes any sense. So it's more of a what the hell? I've got my sandals on for us because I was downstairs. So that way, it's more of a yeah, I'm more in control of what goes on, if that makes any sense that way. So
when you're solo playing, I mean, come on. I mean, a lot of it, 90% of it's reactionary. When you're playing solo.
No, because
with an order system.
I would no. Because what I'm trying to do is I've been slow, and it's been working more and more and more, is integrating like a narrative and role playing a hell of a lot into it. So I've constrained myself sometimes of saying, no, I can't do, like, for example, like already with the Austro-Hungarians refusing to help out the Germans by crossing the Vistula and going towards the Fourth Army over here, this spot over here. They're remembering that later on, when perhaps they have to start divvying up parcels of land if things go well. Like you're going to say, well, you know what? You're not Austria-Hungary. You're not getting any of this bit. You know, like your borders remaining here. We're going to take this as some administrative whatever or what have you. So I'm trying that bit, and as well, I'm at a glacial.
I'm at a higher level tier game than I play. I mean, so you probably have a lot more flexibility in that. But
oh my god,
I'm so used to playing where, you know, if I'm the Germans at Smolensk on the attack and I make an aggressive move, but when I flip over to play the Soviet player side, I'm reacting to what they did.
Yep. I wonder also, like, well, you've played lots of World War I games because you say that on your channel that. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm not reading your stuff as much as I should or whatever. Do you think that World War I? Maybe no, that's not true because I'm thinking about the upstairs games. They do seem rather reactionary. And was thinking about this earlier, actually. This afternoon, whether or not there would be another World War I game out there, even though I'm not using much of the rules here from Der Weltkrieg. Is there another, like, for example, the Twilight of the Ottomans game, that magazine game from S&T, what, number 241? Would I be able to do what I wanted to, what I'm getting out of this game? Would I be able to do that narratively? I'm not sure.
Do you have any of the okay, so I have some ones here that I won't let go. Now here's one that I would think that this would be a Nanguea game, and I wonder if you have it. It's GMT's The Great War in Europe Deluxe. Do you by chance have that game, or do you have Gallipoli 1915 or any of the 1914 games from GMT?
So that's like, is that like the Serbian?
Yes, yeah, Twilight in the East,
Uh,
Serbian. Serbian.
I've got a trade in the works, if you want to call it that, and we just have to meet up. So I've got a trade for that game, and I'm giving up my Desert Fox Deluxe.
All right.
From Decision.
You need to look up the Great War in Europe Deluxe from GMT.
Okay.
Let me see. I got it right here.
I've also got. I think you would. What I'm really interested in taking a look at is the. Oh.
Ted Racer.
Okay, I've got it. Yeah, I've got the Storm in the West one that looks very similar to that.
Newer one. This is an older one, but it's very, very detailed, and it covers from west to east. The maps are kind of unique because you have like 4 or 5 different maps because the Mediterranean's in one map, like that kind of stuff. Which for World War I, that's fitting. So now I tried to play Gallipoli 1915 because old Paul Beckus down in Australia, the one that passed away, he kept asking me to do it, and that game is not quite. I mean, it's a tactical game. It's not a. It's somewhere between. It's just below operational and just barely above tactical, but the rules are just so deep. But I'm thinking that you are going to have to like the 1914 series, or maybe that Great War in Europe. I think that Great War in Europe will be right up your alley.
I do. Yeah, I'm very intrigued. William, man, it's super nice to hear that or read that. Yeah, there's another one I have upstairs called The Cossacks Are Coming. Have you seen that one? Hold on, I'll bring down the box to show you. That's insanely dense looking. But I was like, ooh, boy. The reason being, what I'm starting to really get off on far, far more is really, and Meandering Mike mentioned it a while back, was that I seem to really get off on and I just didn't see it because I was off doing it, was I'm really into this command and control, like who's in charge of the cores, who's like within that core, how can you split up this, when can you split up that, these types of chit-chatting. And when it started getting into that, and from my reading of World War I and everything, and you start reading of like the width of an offensive and so on and so forth, and I started going, wait a flipping minute, there's something wrong here. Look, I love this game, okay? And there's a bazillion things I love. Obviously, I'm playing it, or it started me off in a wonderland. There's something wrong with this scale of this map for what I think much of what the game designer wants to do. I don't think this is the proper scale with his mechanisms to do the whole war.
Okay.
I think segments of the whole war, absolutely. I think you could do Western Front before it becomes entrenched. I think
you have the entire series, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I think for example, if I was going to say, if somebody said, Chris, which one would you want to buy? Should I buy the whole thing, or what should I buy? I would say, if you just want to play the game as it is kind of thing, I would say just get the Western Front and the Eastern Front and leave the rest alone. If you want to have a full-on sandboxy thing and really delve in and whatever, and like I said, I'm not even going to use a majority of what is there. Yeah, sure, get the whole thing. But the Eastern Front for sure, just for the bang for your buck. And most of the mechanisms and the scale will work fine.
Didn't I just see you pop up something the other day about the Kaiser's Battle? The SPI magazine game, the Kaiser's Battle?
I don't think so.
I think it was you.
That could have been maybe Clark Commando 83, maybe.
No, it wasn't Mark. It was no. I swear to God, I thought it was you. It's a World War I SPI magazine game, and then are you opposed to light rules? World War I?
No, gosh, no. No. Not in a bazillion years. It depends on what I want to get off on.
Okay.
There's a
Then-
bazillion. I have a ton of World War I games upstairs that, for like William Aaron's just mentioned. Do I want to play Axis and Allies? Damn right I did. I put it away. The only reason why I put it away is because Rob was hardly ever coming over, and it was just taking up a ton of space. I was like, screw this.
So how about, so there's a World War I game I like, and a lot of people, they boo it because the first 8 turns of the game is just the Germans trashing everything in sight.
Huh?
And then the game flips.
Yeah,
And
I've never been opposed to that. Never.
It's Rock of the Marne from SCS.
Okay.
It's,
I've heard of it. That's an out of print game, correct?
yeah, but you can still find it, and you can find
Yes. I think I have it on the on my Noble Knight thing where they go wishes granted every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, I know it's granted, but the second wish of having a ton of money in my wallet has not been granted. Therefore, we're remaining there. Without a doubt, man. There's a ton of games that I have. No. I'm not opposed to that. For this is what for me. It's just for some weird reason this scale or just something about it allows me to be very sandbox narrative, whatever, and go off into Wonderland. And I will say this: I don't know how and he did this by hand. I'm not sure if he did every freaking map by hand, but Dave Schroeder, oh my God, he did. What the hell am I saying? You can buy, or he was going to he did, someone offered to buy it or something or whatever. The entire set he did and hand drawn of all the Dervell Creek maps. And I'm talking every segment of the freaking hex has been hand drawn. I'm like, this guy is on another planet. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? I love you to bits. Like, thank you. Oh my God. But and supposedly there's chunks of map there that we don't have, which would be great to see. So,
well, I mean, is that series done? Is the book closed on that series? Is there any potential?
It doesn't. I don't think it's anything's good. You hear occasionally mentions of. I think Eric Battle-Ready. I may be wrong about that, but I think Hex to Hex mentioned it was called Rock of the Marne.
Rock of the Marne from MMP. It's a standard combat system. I found it. I played it from top to bottom, and it. Like I say, you get through the first 8 turns of the Germans stomping a hole in everybody. When the Allies have that major armor counteroffensive, and it turns out to be an interesting game trying to hang on as the Germans. But that's there. I just put it in the chat there. So
cool.
You can still find it. It's a standard combat series from MMP.
Yeah, I think I remember Ard Wolf mentioning it a few times there on his show. Oh.
And the Kaiser's Battle, which I was talking about before I got off on that, I played that one all the way through, and that is a S&T, I think, magazine game or from SBI, and it's based on German stormtroopers in World War I.
Okay.
And it's got a very. It's been a while since I played it, but I remember it having a very, very interesting concept. And you look at the victory conditions on the map, and you're like, "This ain't happening. This is World War I. Nobody's going to rush all the way across this map." Well, guess what? They do.
Yeah. What a strange war, right? Like it starts mobile, few years of nothing, like just crunch, at least in the Western Front, and then kaboom, everything just breaks apart again.
And see, that's where I think, I commend you, because when it comes to World War I games, the odds of me setting up one that's going to sit there for months while I play, it's probably not going to happen, because I'm a maneuver warfare guy. Now, which is weird because I play my favorite game series, Great Battles of the American Civil War. Well, you're not running all over the place when you're playing them battles, so I don't know why I would not appreciate World War I a lot more than I do.
I will say this about one that I regret. Well, I'm not ready. Wasn't ready. I still don't think I'm ready yet. I certainly wasn't ready then. Was way back when Ken X, Ken 10 or whatever. I don't know if he's still on the Monday night shows there, the counter clipping shows as a commenter. But we were going to play the Garlitsa Tarnif breakthrough. You should have saw, man, the work he did on Vassal for that. Holy smokes. Just stunning. Like he even had and that's why I got onto this reconnaissance kick. He had a sliding scale we were starting to talk about, and he got into the sliding scale of for reconnaissance based on how many supply points he wanted to use,
Right.
which would bring things more transparent to you. And anyways, it is a monster game at the for Derval Creek. However, I think the length of that front, and yes, it's lopsided, just like the Brusilov offensive is. The Gorlitsa Tarnów breakthrough, sure, it's lopsided. I mean, the Austro-Germans are gonna pound the piss out of the Russians.
Yeah, Chuck.
But there's a lot of neat things to go on there. Yeah, I would like to try that at some point. So there's a lot of scenarios just straight up. If somebody said, Chris, let's not F around with your little homebrew rules. Let's play Der Weltkrieg straight up.
Right.
Would you do it with certain scenarios? Yes, I would. Absolutely. The problem is I don't know how, I'm for that level of game, I don't think that's a good idea to play with me in real time.
Okay.
If you want to play a real-time World War I game with me, don't pick this game. Pick something like you were saying, something lighter. For example, the CSL games upstairs, the World Undone 1914 conflict simulation limited games. Those ones, yeah, I'll play that for an afternoon with you, no worries. Or the Axis and Allies for sure. Yeah,
I have his army group, North, Center, and South ones.
Yeah, let's not anything that requires me to have to, let's just worry about, tiny bits of stacking, super quick supply here. Let's keep everything super simple. Yep, no problem. But yeah, otherwise I'm going to just piss you off because you're going to be like, and I'm going to be making, well, we're not going to enjoy ourselves because I'm going to start making moves just to make moves because I don't want to make you have to dick around forever.
Right. Maybe it was Chuck or Charles that I saw. Charles, did you do where you showed that in a video that you had the Kaiser's battle? Oh no, I knew who it was. It was Hissy Cat.
Okay.
That big bundle of S&T games magazines that he bought.
Okay. He had it. And yeah, like I was saying, Harold Bosman mentioned it today. He said that the Twilight of the Ottomans perhaps is based on that, which I was like, oh, interesting. So, yeah.
So hexing and painting, yeah, I buy miniatures and I paint them. Never played with any of them. Probably doubt. I have to this time because I have a bet with Charles. He says I have to play them after I get done painting them, so I will.
Well, so you've been painting them these guys for years.
Oh, I mean, I've done it off and on since I was probably.
So it's not like they may have just hanging out with these guys may have pushed you to paint more.
No, but those guys do make me get the urge to do it. So
yeah.
But no, I'm a Hex Encounter player. I've got Gross Deutschland 40 set up behind me, and I played probably the first turn and a half of that. But you go through those phases where you won't look at it for a few days. So painting or messing around on my computer that's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And it works for me.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, I got a feeling that much like you, I can leave a game set up on the table for as long as I want.
Oh, yeah. Thank goodness, eh? There's many days I have to remind myself, boy, you're a privileged son of a bee. other people are like, yeah, they're like, oh, I can't have that up, or I've got to put that away, and you got to deal with other, like, even little things. Like Charles has, he can shut his door, but he knows full well the grandkids can still pop in and
Sure.
have a nice little poke around. Yeah.
I don't do pets.
Uh,
And of course, obviously, my grandchildren, I don't have to worry about them coming around here. So, or the great grandchildren.
yeah.
But still though, I mean, I'll play a game. Like I don't know how many times I've played either Terrible Swift Sword or the 3 Days of Gettysburg, where I've played and I'm into the morning of the second day, and I'm like, I'm taking it down. Just the way it is.
Mm.
So what future endeavors do you have beyond that right there? And where else do you play a game if that table's occupied?
The entire house is dedicated to gaming. I'm not kidding you. So, yeah, there's like almost every single wall in the house has game maps on it. No. So the master bedroom is my main game room.
Right.
The secondary bedroom is my arts and crafts room. The third bedroom is my auxiliary game room, more books, tin whistle, music playing area.
Right.
Dining room is a giant table with a bunch of books spread out, and yeah, the whole house. I look, man. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not none of this person of retirement or end of the rainbow stuff. Or I'm like, no, it's just I'm doing it right now. Thank you very much, and I'll take advantage of my situation as long as I can. I don't know how long it's going to last, so let's go for it. I'm a single human being that lives in a 3-bedroom house with a full basement. This is insane. It is. It's beyond gross in many ways. But I'm like, you know what? Soak it up. I don't know how long it's going to last. So, I'm not, so enjoy it. So, yeah, I wander around. I'm just like, I get up and that's it. I just stare around and there's like maps of the world. And it is so much though. So like actually Zoe caught me. That's my daughter. She caught me a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realize we were chit-chatting about something. And I just blurted out, because my current events is not 2023, it's 1915.
Right.
So, I blurted out something about, whatever happened last week. And she's like, what the hell? I'm like, oh, no, I meant 100 and something years ago, but, that type of thing. No, so whatever else is on my agenda, I'm just trying to, I don't know what you would call it, really. I wouldn't say mature, but it's more like maybe become more aware of the fact that it's not just strictly gaming related.
Right.
That's for flipping sure. Like I was even mentioning to Rob today, I said, I feel like half between just finding out about World War One, the Great War, and everything, and then this other bit about I'm into gaming and whatever. And I was mentioning that it's interesting. I said, of course, I mean it's obvious that gamers are far more interested, or easily far more interested in the Great War than, let's say, when I was talking to the historians. I'm not just going to bring up gaming. You know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
As you get, you get the idea. But no, that's what I'm going to do. It's just for me. I just realized, and then also I can see though the pull of after World War One and before, because I'm like, well, it's just inevitable. I'm sure you are the same way when you're doing the Civil War and whatnot. You're getting pulled both ways when you get off to other sides. Like I'm starting to like going, oh, what happened with the Russo-Japanese War?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, this seems interesting. And then afterwards, it's like, okay, well, what happened with the collapse of Russia and everything, and then that game for I don't know, have you played it, Warsaw 1920?
No, I looked at it at Revolution Games.
Yeah, and they have a sale on right now. It's like for a pittance, like $25 or something.
Yeah,
And I watched Justegard do it. I've got it upstairs, and it looks really damn good.
There you go.
It looks really damn good.
I
That would be what, like, for example, if you said, okay, if you were popping over here for an afternoon, I'd be like, yeah, let's pop that puppy out. Let's pop that on the table. Let's play Warsaw 1920. That seems to me like a shitload of fun.
Well, two of my favorite all-time classic monster movies, and one I blame my mother for getting me involved watching it when I was a kid because she loved it. The other one is on me, and I saw the one that it's hard to find. I saw it the other day on YouTube was actually there, and that is Nicholas and Alexandra and Dr. Zhivago.
Oh, wow.
But Nicholas and Alexander, what a freaking great movie about the last czar.
Now,
the poor decision making in World War One.
Does that movie have Chutes and Ladders? Okay, at the very end, does it end where they say, "Wait here, please"?
Yep, that's the one.
Okay.
They
and
tell
then
them to wait
like,
in that room.
And they're sitting there, and she goes and like her sister. She puts her hands over her sister's. Like, you see the gunshot go right through the kid's hand.
Through Dad's hand.
Yeah. You're like, holy Jesus Christ!
And he's holding the boy. So
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, what an interesting thing that was. So, of course, I can't sit here and tell you how much of movies like that are factual. What's authentic or what's not.
Yeah, it's neat that you think that you mentioned that, because I was also thinking that. I'm like, well, the scenes of, for example, like, I still love you, Sonny, and that type of stuff. But hey, man, I mean, it's a movie, for Christ's sakes. Look what's happening with the Ridley Scott thing coming up.
And I'm still looking forward to seeing that.
Oh, people are going to go fucking mental, as you know. This didn't happen, like they were there, and it's just like, guys, man, it's a flippin' movie. Relax. Like, holy cow, it didn't say this is the history documentary, directed by Ridley Scott. Like, Jesus Christ, chill out. It's, this is he just wants you to just enjoy the ride.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm okay with that. Jeepers jumping.
I can't remember the last time anything was made about Napoleon in an actual movie.
And he looks pretty good there, that Phoenix dude, or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's a good actor, no doubt. Shame about his brother, though, killing himself.
Yeah. His family seemed had some interesting things going on.
Yeah.
No, Hex, with this game, man, I'm just trying to, if anything, I'm just trying to add in more. I just want to add, which is maybe not directly game related, but it'd be more like, I still want to do like a front page newspaper thing. I want to it's me, the time. It's really, quite frankly, this is the time. I just want to immerse myself far more into exploring crafting wise, because as I said to Zoe, I'm like, many times, to do all the crafty type stuff I like to do, it's like, well, now I've got a reason where it's like, you can add it in. It's like, well, I just loved, it's like, it's just, anything to tickle my brain. And I'll be honest with you, and I don't feel bad about it. At first I was getting a little, I was like, okay, maybe I should go and, talk to somebody, or about, obsessive compulsive disorder. I'm like, no, this is not it at all. This is completely different. I know, trust me, I know. Where, I would get into a panic attack, or none of that. But I will say this, do I ever feel better when my mind is focused on the Great War in some way, shape, or form? I'm not kidding you. I don't know, like, in whatever way, shape, or form it is. painting a goddamn biplane as badly as I do, or whatever, making word search things, which I haven't done in a dog's age. I have done one. I just got to put up the logo, actually. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, let me ask you this, because I have this discussions with a lot of younger people, because I work with it. My two favorite people in the world are the young lady who lives above me and what used to be her best friend, the girl that works with me. They're the loves of my life. They're in their 20s, and I would jump in front of a train for them, and they know it. But I have discussions with them all the time. And one of the things that, and it's a shame, because it's a lot of the younger youth now is where these problems are, is if I don't, my argument is you hear all these stories about people that, I hate to even discuss it, where they take their lives. And I'm like, and you, maybe somebody and you think to yourself, why would he do that? Or why would she do that? And I always tell myself, you know what? I've got hobbies. And hobbies don't always have to cost money. Find something to do that you enjoy. And I run this story by people. I got twice a month, twice a month. Find yourself something to do. You have stuff. Everybody has something that they like to do that is not illegal.
Oh yeah.
Just
I know what you mean. Bang on, man. Bang 100% on. I felt a bit unshackled, actually. I can remember in one of the comments, Dad versus Son mentioned something about I guess I felt someone had commented, and it wasn't a bad way, and they even said, I'm not trying to be in a bad way. They're just like do you think you could spend your time better, or more wisely, or whatever? And I was like, yeah, maybe, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And Dad versus Son afterwards was like, you don't have to, whatever. He goes, like, somebody who golfs a lot to become a semi-pro or whatever, they don't sit there and go, well, I'm justifying me swinging a rod, hitting a white ball that goes flying, a ridiculous distance to hit a little hole.
That's my passion from spring to fall.
There you go. So, no. And like you said, I'm not hurting anybody and a zillion other things. And I am
keeping the brain active.
Oh my God. And it just, it's mind-bogglingly amazing. And I
could never, I listen to you, okay, whether it's in a stream or your videos, and the initial impression that you would give somebody, and I want you to let me finish the whole statement here before you take any
no worries, man,
against me, is that you ramble. That voice gets to, and I don't mean ramble like you just wander off. I mean, you constantly, you're in motion. Your mouth is in constant motion. The brain is in constant motion. That's so fucking awesome. It's not funny, man. I mean, because you could be sitting here telling me about, this fight here along this road. All of a sudden, boom, you just jump ship and you're in an airfield 80 miles away talking about that act. That is freaking awesome. And there's not, I get so tired of watching these. Okay, look, Players 8 is awesome. They are number one in the list when it comes to showing these games and stuff to people. But what I don't like, and they're not, don't get me wrong, they're not always like that. I'm just saying, but I could give a couple of other examples. I don't want to hear this pre-programmed shit from people. I think people like my videos. It ain't because super stellar 4K camera work, because I don't have it. My English is not the best. I've got teeth missing. I ain't the prettiest thing in the world. But I look at my stuff as I'm a battlefield commentator.
Hey,
so
that's a good way of putting you. I never thought of it that way. I've often tried to put like talking to Meandering Mike or whatever. And I'm like, God, I admire this guy, man. He's got like just a certain, and I've said to you before, man, I don't want to turn this into a whatever fest, but I was like, I could feel your passion, just the way you were chit-chatting about the game, and you're looking at, and the other thing is, like I've always said, and that's what really got me off on the Wednesday night things, was it felt so much like a clubhouse, like you. And then I was like, I always could rely on your goddamn overhead. I was like, this is awesome, man. You're just off doing your thing. Hold on, I'm just going to the kitchen. Yeah, I was like, oh, this is so nice. But man, this overhead shot, at least for me, even like just to do like oh, my throat's gonna kill me tomorrow. Like to pop into paint and stuff like that. Hey, speak of the devil, the Grog Shed, Hex man. He's the guy I'm doing the trade with for Desert Fox Deluxe and Serbian. Who's there? Being there you go. That's hilarious. We're just mentioning. He was Hextax was just mentioning to me that I should probably take a look at the GMT. Oh shoot, yeah. Why? Hold on, I'll go and grab that Cossacks are coming game.
Yeah, that 1914 system. I think that's right up his alley. So, yeah, I would say of the up at the 4 games, the 4 errors that I like to battle of the 4 that I like that I talk about on my channel. World War I's the smallest of the bunch, but I think a lot of that, like I said earlier, because I like the maneuver warfare, but I like the Civil War Napoleonics too. So, which is weird. I think I would like World War I being that, but and also I think too because there's probably not as many products out there that cover World War I. Like come on, World War II. I mean, it's everywhere. Oh, that's a good box. Now, who makes this?
So this is damn it! I wish you might freaking everything. Bro Games. It was designed by David Bolt. Game development Michael Resch.
Wow, I don't recognize that.
2003.
Wow. You, Charles, and Mike, Meandering Mike, you all come up with some of the most off-the-wall games that I'd never even heard of or thought of.
Well, that guy, I mean, let's be honest. Wow. I've said this to Charles a ton of times, man. His game den, well, I call it a game den. Man, I would so want to snuggle up on his chair after playing some games and like on a Saturday evening and just like falling asleep watching a movie. It looks, and like he says, it's like practically rolling distance to the fridge.
Right.
Like, it's like, come on, man. Yeah, and Meandering Mike, my God, you could get lost forever in his freaking thing. It's just like I said, man, you could like charge admission. Like just like bring in people. I could spend a weekend there. You'd be like, what the hell? So
I just did the the GMT sale is up. If you have some P500s, you get 50% off of stuff. And I went ahead and bought. I wasn't going to. Really wasn't nothing I wanted. I usually end up with buying game trays, but I went ahead and bought North Africa 41. I bought the Stalingrad 42 expansion, and then I bought 40 counter trays, and $60 for all of it. So
impressive! Holy smokes!
I didn't buy anything with the MMP sale that's on right now. I know Todd bought ASL's Fire Manila, which I already have, or Fire and Sword, but yeah, it just wasn't nothing there. I mean, you know what? This will just kill everybody that knows me. I did not pre-order the OCS Crimea game. And I did not pre-order the BCS Israeli or Sinai.
Are those reissues or?
No, these are brand new. And I'm an OCS, BCS freak. I'm playing TCS now. So, and I didn't pre-order any one of those two. And I know what's going to happen. I'm going to end up getting Crimea. I see that coming because it is OCS and it's von Manstein down there in Crimea. So
look at Charles. He's got it already mapped out. 17.
Fact, I'm gonna mute myself for a second, go to the bathroom.
Okay. Wow, this was kind of interesting. I'm glad. Hopefully, everybody was been having an okay time. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, I'll have to shut down pretty soon because, like I was saying, even though I'm pretty pepped up or whatever, I'm going to start pacing myself. Excuse me, especially if Rob's coming over tomorrow and then I got to bike into work on Monday. Ugh. It's going to be chilly. Mind you, we've had some pretty nice weather. Ugh. Well, what did I do with that Tannenberg game? Oh, there you are. What are you up to, Goose? I'm from Ottawa. Same as, well, I'm not saying that Grog Shed's from Ottawa. He's living in Ottawa. Not doing too bad, man. Still getting over some kind of viral whatever. I don't know what the hell it was, but my God, like a week ago or whatever, I was just like, oh, the worst. Actually, I'm telling you, I don't know if you guys have ever had this, but my throat was a little bit constricted, and I don't know if it was what. Anyways, it constantly felt like I had like a hair on the back of my throat. So trying to go to sleep, I was just like, oh my God. I was going to go out of my free. Yeah, I was. But the doctor said, yeah, you're all right, whatever. But slowly just getting my energy back, if that's what, and I just got to remind myself not to overextend or whatever. It's kind of almost the same of trying to, about eating, trying to remind myself about trying to stay 3/4 full, not to ever like eat till the point I'm full, like eat to the point where I'm like, oh, I could probably have a little bit more, but I'll stop, kind of thing.
Wish I could do that.
Pardon?
I said, I wish I could do that.
Oh my God. The problem is, man, is well, all I got to say is this. Thank God I'm not on holiday permanently. I don't know about you, but in holiday mode, it's like screw, whatever, and it's just eat whatever. Yeah, I didn't think you were from Ottawa. That's right. So that's why I was like, okay, better make sure you're just saying that you live in Ottawa. I am like for certain foods, man. Yeah, my eyeballs are way bigger than my stomach, but I just keep trying to pound it in, like Turkish food.
I can't do all that stuff, man. Okay, so spicy food to me is Taco Bell.
Okay. I don't find Turkish food or the Turkish food I've ever had spicy. I just find it's the irony is I don't use salt in my cooking. I don't even have salt in the house.
I only do that for French fries.
Is it's usually pretty damn salty, but they grill their food so freaking much. Oh my God, Jesus H Christ!
All right, so here we go. So now I'm going to fire some questions at you with that game you're playing. So, are you in the?
Actually, thank you. Before you ask the question, thank you, because when Zoe was over and it pissed me off. Was afterwards, I was like, no, I should be letting her ask the effing questions rather than me, because it was like, you're stop it. Like, no one knows what's going on. It's just a gobbledygook of weird colors and blocks and shit. So, yeah.
Well, so my question is going to be, all right, what I want to know is, because I want to say, and it could just be because I'm not paying attention, is hearing the time frames that you're operating in. So here's my question. Are you in a phase of this conflict where the Russians are still on the push, or are the Germans starting to flip the script?
So they're at this point in time, the Germans are about to lay down the hammer.
Okay.
Badly. They are loaded to the nines with strength points. They've the past when the instant I was allowed to do it, they started stripping their fortresses of garrison troops and converting them into Festung divisions.
Okay.
And that's it started last turn. They were released, and there's a ton about to be pumped out, and they've got a lot of supply points as well. Next turn, I think. Hold on, I'll take a look at their reinforcement situation. It's pretty beautiful. It is pretty bloody beautiful. Where are you? So on the 5th. So they'll still get another 18 strength points of Festung divisions they can spread around, but that'll be 1, 2, 3, 5 divisions. So that's not bad. And what about reinforcements? Holy shit. They get one. So they get 2 8 strength point. They get the 3rd and 4th infantry divisions.
And where are these coming from? Are they
I
coming from
guess
the
they must be coming from the Western Front.
Right.
And then they get the 4th Cavalry Division, the 47th Reserve Infantry, the 48th Reserve Infantry, and then some more replacement. Yeah, they've got a lot of good stuff coming.
Okay. And are you going to focus in a particular area?
Yep. Yep. Well, this is the interesting thing. And you remember you were talking about constraints and stuff or reactions is personally, I think down here, they have a better chance of breaking severely the Russians in half.
Okay.
And being able to actually be so far away from anybody here that they could cross the Vistula, which is a major river, without having to any zones of control issues. In other words, they could get across here and then start cutting off the rail lines to Warsaw, which would be a nightmare beyond belief. They're not going to be able to do that because politically, there's no effing way that anybody is going to want to keep politically the Germans are saying get the Russians out of East Prussia ASAP. This is taking way fucking too long. Get them out of here. We're sending a bazillion troops from the Western Front, aka you just heard about what's coming next turn. That's why I'm looking at it role playing wise. They're going. Please send them to the goddamn East Prussia, not over to here. Is what I'm trying to do. So that's my constraint. Even though the generals are saying from tactically, strategically, this makes way more sense, assholes. If we would go this way, we can get your prize. It'll just take a bit longer. But the politicians and everybody are like, excuse me, grandma lives over here, and so on and so forth. And grandma, is freaking out.
So okay, so you're basing this move or what you're fixing to do, this offensive or this operation, off of political rules in the game, or are you just basing on what you think history would have been like?
Exactly. Number B.
Perfect.
Number B. Oh, no. Not 99% of the shit that I'm here is not even written in the rules. All this crazy nonsense of core, who's in each core, and all this nonsense and chit-chatting. None of this exists. None of it. Oh, yeah, Grogshed. A year and something ago, I remember calculating, and this is before when I was actually at a half-decent pace, way faster than this. I calculated it would take me something like 17 years to finish the entire war. So there you go. I'm worse now, man. But who gives an F? This is fun as hell.
It must. I think I'm trying to think what the longest time was I had a game since.
Think about growing up. Did you ever play any role playing games or?
I don't think I even dabbled with Dungeons and Dragons till one time while I was in the Army.
To me, this is kind of like the same thing. It's just Dungeons and Dragons World War I hexagon style, in a way. That's all. I'm just more into this theme than I am into a 3rd level thief and my 4th level magic user firing a fireball. Other people get to do those things. Like, for example, when I get to watch Hoser House Rules, or I watch you play World War II games, or other, you know what I mean? I get to virtually live through your playthroughs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, okay, I don't have time to play these other games. I'd love to, and so on and so forth. And then I'm like, well, I can go and watch Hex to Hex, play whatever, and get really involved into, okay, this is what happened with this battle, and so on and so forth. And or like, whoa, this is a completely different way of looking at how to get from point A to point B than I would have to deal with point A to point B, because he's in a different time zone of, conflict. And this is,
well, I'm gonna tell you, if you, like I say, if you ever changed and went into this, like I say, this pre-programmed text and everything, when you're playing, I'd probably stop watching. It's like Chuck. The thing I love about Chuck's videos, well, for the longest time, his volume sucked on the phone he was using, but he's got that repaired. It's the writing on the boards, his little notes. I may not be able to read all of them, but he puts notes on the on the plexiglass with what he's doing. Todd.
Well, and I don't know about you, but I love stealing. Love stealing from other people. I watch other people's videos and I'm like, okay, you use this, that, and the other thing. What a smart move. Yep. And it's like, I'm going to start doing that, man. Oh, yeah. When I was watching Dad versus Son way back playing the Stalingrad game, and he had blocks and all kinds of crazy ass shit on his board. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, that is something I would love to try to do, game wise. And yeah.
Well, if you
also, Jezza 1. Another person that knocks me on my arse is Jezza 1.
Jezza 1, yeah. I'm
Jesus.
He likes the big stuff too. He loves the big stuff.
Holy shit. Not just that. When the first time he did Revel Creek, and I was like he's just walking around his house with maps and counters stuck to them. And he's like, it's a normal thing. And I went, oh my F, this guy is absolutely beautiful. Hey, Telemachus. I was just like, to me, I was like, what am I watching? Like, what is going on here? And he was doing the whole war of Der Weltkrieg properly, rules wise. He scrapped, like he was like, screw the grand campaign rules, but he went on it full on. And he's got all the videos up there. And he actually stopped at one point because he's like, look, man, my back is killing me, doing this, that, and the other thing. But he gave it a go. And him was a good motivator for sure, because I was like, holy cow, someone could do something, like do that type of thing. And then watching Dad versus Son. But both of those people I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for Ard Wolf's counterclipping show. Remember when he used to do those things of, hey, look at this YouTube person? I don't know if you remember way back when for some.
I mean,
you're like, hey, follow this person. But it was a long, long time ago, like a year and a half ago or whatever. And so I'd be like, hey, and then I'd see Dad versus Son. I was like, wow. And that's how I found out about him and so on and so forth.
I chat with Gary a little bit here and there because of the Charles S. Roberts Awards.
Oh, okay.
And that hasn't started. That started up again. I haven't got myself involved in it. I'm not sure if I want to anymore. But I think, first off, he was the perfect choice to do this because of the way he involves himself in this. But I think poor Artie, I know he's got to be struggling with having time to actually play a lot of games anymore.
He is. Oh yeah, I mean,
and he does it vassal most of the time when he does.
I think he's aware of the commitment that he's made.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And it is a effing commitment he made. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's like, it's holy shit. Like, right. I think he's not one of those people, as you know, is also just going to go and walk away.
Yeah, no, he's
not that type of person. As in, well, no, he's completely lucid, 100%.
I keep telling myself, and I've been telling the guys for a while, that I think I want to go to making, because I've done a few, but I think I want to go to making instructional how to play videos. But once I get started, it'll be fine.
Yep.
But it's forcing myself to.
Now, this is where I think perhaps I may help in that I've watched one of the YouTube playlist video things I absolutely love watching is, and I don't even own any of these type of things, is uh, train sets, whatever. And this guy goes, because they talk about the whole history of how locomotives and, you know, a zillion other things and whatever, but they always like relate it back to train sets. Right. And one of them's an expert. The other one asks questions. You get the idea?
Yep. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
So what I would like to do, for example, even the first one, a little bit, and because I really still need help for this at some point, and I'm sure a lot of other people would like it too, is to sit down and take a look and go, okay, let's take a look at a goddamn map, a real game map, and let's also look at some battle maps and so on and so forth, and take a look and what is this, you know, like, what does this mean or that mean, or what do these funky arrows mean? You've been there. How do you know, read this? Like you said, you've taught high school students. I just watched a video on finding the dead, and one of them was about trying to find where Rudyard Kipling had died, his son, sorry, and Jack, John Kipling. And the weird thing was, it inadvertently was an error when it was recorded on the maps. And you may know about this, is the way they have the big letters, the G and the H, they're next to each other on the big panels.
Right.
Anyways, whoever wrote it down wrote the other panel number. Oh, okay. Letter. So, but everything else was right. And nothing, everything was okay until somebody went investigating and then was like, wait a flipping minute. This doesn't make any sense. There's all these bodies that died at a spot which is actually quite a distance from where the battle site was.
Right.
And they went from there and started looking into other records and then was like, okay, we can verify that it was actually H, not G, for example, which made a hell of a lot more sense. Yeah, and I was like, okay, you know what I mean? And then I was like, wait a minute. And then when I was listening to you on one of the live streams, I was like, okay, let's connect the dots here and see if you want to do some kind of thing like that way. Or, yeah. Also, basic stuff as well is, for example, next week, one of the topics I want to talk about with people, and I'd love it if you'd be on it, is we want to go to the SPI resource site.
Oh, yeah.
And on the SPI resource site, they have a bunch of PDFs of strategies. Like, well, I downloaded them and I've got them printed off here. I'm not going to read them all out. But it's things such as basic tactics for the new gamer. And like I said, like, we can just find out eventually at some point. Now, here's another one: defense, offensive strategy.
Russ Guilford's also.
There's other things and others. We don't have to also at some point. It's like, okay, we can allow this to happen organically. You don't have to turn this into like let's be honest. It's something to strive for. I'm not saying we're going to go down that road. Like when you look at something like the counter clipping show, that to me is, you look at that, that's a gold standard show, for example. I'm not saying I'm not aspiring to be that or compare, but you get the idea. Though that to me, so when you get the, hey, and I'm cluing in now. You just want to be called wardrobe. So there you go.
I don't mind getting on the counter clipping show, but I do it because I want to support Gary.
Oh yeah, but you get the idea. I don't want to turn. I'm not into. At some point, like I was saying, like, for example, that's where I think I'm getting at with my World War I exploration. I don't want to call it research. Not yet. Not until I get to that next step. And that's what I want to get to, that next step of, because I'm starting to now interact with, I'm not saying they're more legitimate than the gamers and whatnot by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm starting to interact with people that are just into the history. They're not into the gaming whatsoever. And so it's like, okay, I'm not saying I have to step up my game, but I have to be aware of how I present myself, or you get the idea. So yeah.
Well, I had a video I posted probably 2.5 years ago. It was a war video, and it was a light game, but I guess however I titled it, I got a comment from a guy.
Hmm?
Man, I turned this on because I thought it was a documentary about the battle.
Whoa.
Hey, he subscribed to me, and now I see him commenting every now and then. I'm like, and he doesn't even game. He thought, and that's cool when you get the people like that where you don't necessarily think. And this is why I'm going to say I like your newspaper headline idea thing, because it's cool when you've got people that are coming to watch your stuff, and you would never expect that to happen because they're not interested really in your hobby. But it means you're putting out some knowledge, and I'm not there. Everybody will say that for me, I'm the Civil War guy. But you know what? I don't have the knowledge of the Civil War that a lot of people out there do.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I can talk Gettysburg pretty good because I live near there. I mean, I've got Antietam and I've got Harper's Ferry and everything. I'm right in the middle of all this stuff, but I'm still not the knowledge base. I can tell you the outcomes of battles, and I can tell you, what my opinion of the errors were, or what I felt should have happened.
I don't know if you've ever played a musical instrument.
Drums years ago.
Okay, so just imagine remember what it feels like when either you yourself or someone asks you to play something and you don't realize that you're playing it, like practicing playing it. You know what I mean? It's right. Just coming to you. And I think that's what you are, for example, with the Civil War. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah.
So it's so when you're into that or in there, you're there. So yeah,
do you ever have that? Like when you're sitting there pushing counters around on that map right there, and all of a sudden you look up and you've been steadily pushing and fighting for an hour and a half or 2 hours, and you're like, whoa.
Oh my gosh. No, I'm gone, man. Like so flipping gone. It is no, I walk, you have no idea how many little mini conversations are going on.
Oh here. Yeah. And you know what?
And I know, like there's whispers.
You know how many times Todd,
like this newly promoted dude from South Africa, the South African von Estorff, who's now the 8th Army commander, because Hindenburg and Ludendorff are over here. It's just like the overall theater commander or whatever, conflict zone commander. Sorry. Yeah, there's all kinds of interplay and crazy nonsense. Just lovely stuff going on here, man. I just
well, you don't know how many times Todd and McMurray and Andrew and I have sat around and we've just been on Facebook chat with each other, and we're talking war game stuff or miniature stuff. In an hour and a half,
wardrobe,
we're like, why the hell didn't we record this?
And do it. I've got tons of shit that I haven't posted up there, and I'm just like, it's because it was quicker to do it video-wise, just having it babbling away than writing it down or whatever. But it also is a neat way. I'm sure you've found that out too. Recording it in different ways, not just the video, but also like to sit down and writing it, or like Wardrobe is saying, hey, I want to do like a newspaper idea for World War II. It will stretch, I think, you in ways that you didn't know are there yet. You know what I mean? It's
right.
It turns you, and it's exciting as flipping hell. And we're always bouncing this stuff back and forth. I mean, that's what I'm loving about. God, I've run into some good people on this freaking in this little gaming universe, man. It's been
you got all these people that talk about, and a bunch of us have this conversation all the time. When you edit a video, to me, you're making it formal. I'm one of those that I'd rather hear you ramble because I'm hearing the real you. Oh, are we getting feedback?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I get you. But I don't want. I certainly want. And I hopefully that is, and you can see that differently. Is I certainly want to have the Saturday live streams, like the Saturday morning live streams, of a different format, and which I'm hoping.
Well, okay, so your newspaper thing,
Uh,
like the Great War series or the World War II series with Indian Idell, to me that's very formal and very professional. And I think your newspaper idea would be freaking great with that line. But then if you were to stop doing your just shooting from the hip live streams, that would suck.
Oh, no! I'm not. No! It's all this. This is just add-on stuff. No! This is just add-on stuff. And what I would like to do is put that on for my community tab, and have it as a once a month or whatever. As this is what the hell happened around the world. As a headline. Like I've got my little template written out, and Zoe was helping me out a little bit. And see you later, man. I'm about to do the same thing. Trust me, even though I don't want to. But you're being a smart human being. And then later on, getting people used to the same places on, like the same panels, being the same things on the page, and then going, okay, this is where I'm going to put the word search link. Right. Or I'm going to have for example, this is the battle or whatever. But do you really want to find out what really happened? Go to this link, which is a wiki thing or whatever. I'm just saying these are just things to throw out. I'll, at the bottom, instead of ads for whatever, why not have ads for you guys? That type of stuff, or World War I related stuff. You get the idea.
Speaking of which, I need to add.
There's I think the only thing limiting us is us of not thinking go beyond the box. So like you were saying about I'm getting fed up of seeing the same stuff over and over again. Just be yourself, and there's gonna be lots of people I'm sure that go, you're an idiot or whatever, but who cares in the long run? I mean, do you have to go to sleep with them at night? No. So who cares, really? I know it's not easy. I mean, especially YouTube is such a bizarre universe, as because it's so geared towards feeding them, even though they don't want you to know that.
Right.
In a sense, it's like, well, I can, and I'm like, F off, man. I don't want to know. Like I've turned off 99.9% of my notifications. I don't know when people like my stuff. I don't like a zillion things. And I feel so much better. You have no idea. It's just so nice to go onto YouTube and not just get inundated with like, you've got 4 trillion notifications. I'm like, no, I don't. You're a nobody, Chris. And I'm like, yes, this is the way I want to feel. It's just YouTube. You can feel the way you want to feel, but let me feel the way I want to feel. I guess is that's
your rambles work. They work well for me, and I'm sure they work well for a lot of other people. Just and those that want to see it, they'll be over there subscribed and looking at it.
Yeah, that's the way it is. That's why, it's a full spectrum, as you know. I subscribe to so many different types, like Player's Aid, and I mean, they got me on to. Well, they actually, in a weird way, got me on to World War I. They had a segment once of lesser-known publishers,
right?
And I just stopped. I kept hitting stop or pause, writing it down on my freaking whatever, and then went one by one to all these websites and checked around. And it ended up being CSL due to the fact that it was probably one of the most affordable games to buy.
Well, there's a lot of
and off I went.
There's a lot of hatred for that guy at CSL for stealing game ideas.
Yeah. Ironically, though, I ended up getting the very first. Haven't played it yet, and Charles has mentioned it a ton of times. Rostov 41, is that what it's called?
Great game. Probably
And he was,
the best SCS title out there for playability and fun.
okay. And he's the designer, I think. I'll check. Ray Weiss. I got it upstairs.
That's two different Rays. The Ray from CSL is a different Ray.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, you just blew my bubble.
I'm pretty sure.
Jeepers jumping, you little. Yeah, that looks like. Oh, yeah, you were saying about, like some people that are whatever. Have you ever watched that? It's not OCS. It's a Decision Games. It's a D-Day thing that's over the top. Goss or something?
Goss, yeah, I have all of those.
Okay, now this guy it's called Monster in My Basement.
Oh yeah. I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Holy shit! That guy is off the charts quality. I was like, this guy should be doing instructional videos about anything. Let's be honest. It's almost like he did an entire video on just how to move the fucking cursor.
Yep.
Get to the menu thing. I'm like, holy shit! If you can't figure this out, you should not even be anywhere near an electrical device. It was just mind-boggling. I was like, this guy's stunning.
I think the best monster game player out there, as far as the way he talks about the games, is Tabletop's Edge.
Tabletop's Edge. I don't know if I've seen that person. Damn it.
Well, when Ardwolf is at Consum Expo, which he has been this past week, when he does his clipping show from there, Tabletop's Edge is usually on there with him.
Tabletop's Edge.
Tabletop's Edge, I think it's called.
I'm going to have to look it up then.
Yep. He's a he does very good stuff.
What period does he like?
Most World War II, but he takes on the big monster games. Like he played the whole BCS, the last Blitzkrieg, turn by turn, talking about it, videoing it.
Okay. Now, so that's Battalion?
Combat system, yep.
Okay. Now, what is the, like, what hex is, like, what hex is equal to?
Oh, is it one? They vary in BCS.
I will say this about the Goss thing. The way he was talking about it, it seemed, I think the only two things that were a knock to me was that I was into World War I by then, right. And I already had like my version of a monster game. But the way he was going on about how things were like broken down and like how to get things moving and so on and so forth, I was like, wow, this seems like built-in narratives can pop up. As in, like, this little whatever is going to have a hell of a time getting to this spot. And I was like, this.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
That, to me, I was like, I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. Like, that will come out in the long run, the whole grand picture. But I want to see all these little, how, like, all these little headaches that you had to get to, like I was saying, about starting to learn about how to get beyond one turn, beyond the reactionary bit.
You don't play great battles in American Civil War, which this is stunning.
No, and it's like, I'm sorry, I would if like I was hanging out with you guys or whatever. It's just because, as you I said, it's I got hooked on World War I, and now I'm off in my little world. That's it.
All right. Well, we need to put a hook in this because I need to take some medicines and things, and
and it's 10:30. We're good. This went well.
Yeah, we're going to do this some more.
Right on, man. Right on. So, okay. Good night, guys. Hope you guys had a good time.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Talk, Chris. Thanks.
See you later.